The first thing to notice here is that the 24 assets base is composed of multiple tables that you can find at the top. So each tab is different table, from assets all the way to deals. And within each table, you can also find descriptions. Then there is the automations tab and the interfaces tabs, where you can find other data relevant for this base. On the left-hand side panel, on any table, there is the views menu, sidebar, where you can switch between views. For example, here is the assets table that contains all the 24 assets, and you can see that there are also sub-items. So the market asset, for example, contains positioning, data, channel, and you can open that page or a record to see all the details of it. So this happens in the data tab. The second main table in the system is teams, and teams contains both functional teams or departments within your company, and within each department you can find people. So these are the team members. When you go into the people by team view, you can expand the team to see the team members and their roles and all the details of each person in here. So that's a team directory essentially. If you expand the page, you can find all that information stacked vertically in Airtable fields. There is also a gallery view that is a team directory, and that looks a bit better than a simple table because you can have headshots and previews. The products table contains all the products that you offer, their status and the product type, if it is a product for prospect, for client, a core product, or a gift. You can see there are different views here. The view by status is a Kanban board, so pretty regular, where you can drag and drop products into different statuses. And you can see them by type, where they are grouped still in a Kanban board, but this time grouped by type of product. And when you expand any product, you can find the status, the product owner, the URL, the price, the pricing type, if it is recurring or one time. Then there are also additional info that you can find down here in this case. And the table view contains all of them. The fourth table in this system is documentation, and that's a key part of 24 assets because documentation fosters scalability. So each row in this table is a document. A document can be an onboarding doc like this one, for example. It can be a guide. It can be a standard operating procedure, KPIs, product-specific documents or project-specific documents. And you can see that you can apply a template to these documents. And when you do that, it creates this predefined content. You can manage the record template under the dedicated section here. Click on the three dots and then select Edit Template to change the settings or the content of the template. You can also create different template types. The projects table contains all the projects. Projects are composed of expenses as well as tasks, and they can be related to meetings and also to deals if they are client-related projects. On the left-hand side, you can see multiple views. One of the most interesting one to me is the Gantt chart. And this can be quite useful if you have many projects going on. You want to see dependencies and you want to see different time frames really for your projects, where on the left-hand side, you can add projects. You can also add milestones that would appear as a single day entry. And then you can define the scope of view that you want to have within that Gantt chart. You can move things around, as you can see there. You can also resize or shrink or expand the duration of any specific project. And as you can see, there are predecessors and successors, aka dependencies, that will let you know if a project is blocked by another one or if it is blocking a successor. The Kanban view as well is a quite useful and standard Trello-like view. And then you can see the list and the table or grid. Project expenses are recorded and you can link them to a project. You can take notes on them. You can add the price, the date, and the specific name of the expense. Then there are tasks. Tasks are linked to projects. So you can break down projects into tasks. And there is the name, we have the status, the priority, the related project. You can assign tasks to people and also add additional info like dates and notes. The timeline view is interesting here as well, because you can see tasks are grouped by status, so you can expand any status, go back to past tasks. Of course, you can change the time frame as well, and you can expand any task record to see all the details, as well as edit them if you like. The meetings table is where you can take meeting notes or record meetings. So you can see a calendar, for example, here is one of the most useful views, and there is the name, there is the event time. You can select participants, these are internal users, as well as contacts or external people that are participating to that meeting. Then you can take notes that you can also format here, as you can see within the Airtable field. The content table is a content calendar. So it's a light CMS where you can manage and track all your content. You can see here, this is a calendar. It is color-coded based on the status. There's also a Kanban view that shows a preview of the image as well as all the other data, and it allows you to quickly drag and drop data in between statuses. We will also see all these views and more relevant views for specific users on the interfaces, so stay tuned for that later in the video. The next table in the system is contacts. So this is part of the CRM or customer relationship management. That's why we can track all the people in our network, whether it be a client, a potential client, a partner, a supplier, an ambassador, or any person really. We can also see their lifetime value if they are related to deals that are closed won. That would be added up as the LTV or lifetime value. And the same really goes for companies. Here you can keep track of all the companies, either that you work with or that you partner with or that are just in your network. And also companies have an LTV value that you can view. The deals pipeline finally is where you can manage the sales process. And in 24 assets, one of the concepts that Daniel Priestley shares is the LAPS concept. Leads, appointments, presentation, sale. You want to repeat this cycle with your leads, and this pipeline can allow you to do just that, to keep track of the sales cycle. Within the automations tab, you can find some relevant automations that come with the template, such as setting the task date completed. And this is useful for then the dashboards that we have to see the timing, the deadlines, and other charts. If you want to edit them or add automations, you can do that freely. Finally, there are interfaces, and these are views of the data that we just saw. So as long as you understand how the data looks like, you will understand interfaces, because this is like the front end of an application where we manage data and we show that data based on relevant filters. You can see here how I'm showing that there is a start here page that you can easily customize. You can think of this as a welcome page where you can add navigations, descriptions, videos, and then there is a dashboard, and the growth interface is sales related. So data is coming from the CRM here. You can see the win rate percentage, the median value of a deal. You can see closed won deal by owner. In this case, there is only one owner, one person, and not enough data. So these charts don't look very appealing, and I understand that. But when you have enough data, they can become very powerful. Then the sales pipeline is a view of the deals table, and you can see here I can quickly filter, and I can just use the pipeline as we saw it earlier, moving things around across statuses. I can change view where I can see the deals grouped by status, and in this grid view, for example, then I can always in any view open the record and see the record detail layout, where I can also change data and enrich that deal with all the most important information, including adding meetings. So I can record meetings here quickly directly from the interface without having to go into the data tab or layer of our table. And I can see here all the details of the meeting, take notes during the meeting if I want, and also directly add tasks to that meeting. As a user, I can also sort, and I can add additional filters to this view. And this happens in any view really on the interfaces and pages within interfaces, which is what we're looking at right now. For example, the contacts page is within the growth interface, and in here there's also a form where I can create a contact. So as a user, I can come here and easily create a contact without having to go through the data layer and view all the row tables, because some people might not like that or might not need that really. here is a quick way, easy way to just enter data and to view that data of contacts that are sorted in descending order by created time. And I can open each contact and enrich that data, add meetings, and see all the relevant information there. The same exact concept goes for companies. You can see here I can search, I can open the record data layout, this time in SidePick. I can also create companies quickly. The second interface is the fulfillment interface. So growth is more sales, fulfillment is project management, so actually delivering on the promise of your business. And you can see the dashboard here, similar concept to the sales dashboard. There are some KPIs or key metrics, and there are some charts or visualizations of projects and tasks related data here in percentages, in days of scheduled variance. I can see bar charts as well for tasks. The projects view allows you to switch across different visualizations and then open any project record to see all the record details on the left pick. And there are tasks that I can also see in a Kanban, for example. There are also meetings related to that project. So this becomes the centralized place to see all the data about projects and manage them directly from the interface without having to go into the data tab. Then I can see tasks in the fulfillment interface. The task page shows task data in different views, Kanban, grid, calendar. I can easily filter data by project, for example, by assignee, priority, and then I can open, as per usual, the task detail layout to edit info and move things around. And finally, in the fulfillment interface, there is the meetings page, where I can see a meetings calendar and different views, and I can take notes on meetings. And this is how to add a task quickly from a meeting. And this will go into the centralized tasks database or table. So it becomes quite powerful here to quickly add action items and have them stick in the system so you don't lose track of them, because eventually those are the things that move the needle. Executing on the action items that you say you want to execute on. And the flywheel dashboard contains content and documentation, so pretty straightforward. These are the sources of this interface, and you can see the content, pipeline, calendar, and all those views. You can open the record data layout. You can easily filter by specific fields, and this is very similar to what I showed you earlier in the data tab. So same exact data, just views of that data that you as a user can easily filter, view, and open in a significantly prettier way than the data tab. Finally, there is the My Data interface, and this is a personal dashboard where every team member can come here and see all their projects, their tasks, their meetings, their documents, DLs, and content. So this is filtered dynamically, as you can see here, by owner or collaborators or whatever the equivalent user field is on every table within the system. And this really concludes the overview of the Airtable base. That is 24 assets, based on 24 assets by Daniel Priestley. If you have questions or comments, you can leave them down below in the description of the video. Here you can see that I'm showing you that there are two forms as well, projects and contacts, to quickly allow users to create that kind of data. Let me know what you think. You can find links in the description of this video. See you soon.